Peace. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to FlyDialogue, a podcast series featuring entrepreneurs, their passions, and experiences. Be sure to visit FlyDialogue.com to find out more about us, including our radio station where we stream hip hop 24/7. I'm telling you, we're literally jamming as we speak. And we also got a craft beer blog called Cream, Craft Rules, Everything Around Me, and plenty more. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the craft beer app Untapped, or on YouTube. Just search FlyDialogue on all of those platforms, even on Google. Be sure to follow us, friend us, subscribe. Ultimately, just check for us. We'd love to have y'all, and we look forward to connecting with you. Peace. Brother O, my guy, welcome to the show, man. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me, man. Glad to be here with you, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. The pleasure is mine, man. I know your squad is playing today. Best of luck to them. You know, not your Fisk University alma mater, but the other team that we don't have to say their name, but we'll just say Roll Tide. Yeah.
You mean Alabama? Yeah, man. I mean, I understand. You know, once a volatile hater, you always be a volatile hater. You know what I'm saying? So,
no, it's not even that, man. You know, go Vols. We won last night. You know, we Orange Bowl beat Clemson. Proud of those guys. Go Vols. You know, shout out to the Vols. But yeah, during playoff season, you know, it's always about the SEC, the conference.
The SEC conference, baby.
So go SEC. I wish the Tide the best, man. It looks like they're handling business. So. No, I'm happy, which I expected, man. So
absolutely. Man. Hey, man, salute. You know, I just noticed something, man. I should have joined you as we could have been supporting our guy Corey Phillips together, man. I see with your good guy sweatshirt on. I should have put mine on, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Corey, man. I appreciate you connecting me with him, man. I got a couple of these actually, man. Corey, I appreciate you. I need to come back and get a red one. I got this one and a blue one.
Okay.
And shout out to good guys. It's just a good look, man. It's proper.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know, he's Dion picked him up. He's going to Colorado, baby. He's left LSU and going to Colorado. Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he was collegiate. That he's a young man.
Oh man, he's been doing the thing, man. He hit the Wolfpack for me. You know, he started Vandy, hit the Wolfpack, down to LSU, now Colorado, baby. Yeah.
Man, okay. No, that's great, man.
Yeah,
I was thinking he was our age.
No, he's what? No, he's our age. No, I'm saying he's on the coaching staff there. Man.
Oh, he's one of the coaches.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh man, definitely one of the good guys. In okay,
definitely one of the good guys. Absolutely.
Oh man, that's what's up. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yo to the dudes on that one too. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Yeah, definitely, man. Man, that's a great look, man. We'll have to talk more about that. Maybe we can pull him on here. He's probably a busy man at this point, man. But oh man, congrats. Oh, that's huge, man. That's huge.
I'm glad you got me here with you today. So what's going on? Tell me about it. What we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing, man, you know, mental health is, I think, on everyone's mind, man. And it's something we don't really get a chance to talk about enough. You being in the position that you are, a leader in the community, within your church, you know, on your professionally at your job, you're always in this space where obviously mental health is very important. But I think for me, it's, you know, I guess I want to start with, you know, tell me about, you know, your company, Centers for Wellbeing, and how mental health has kind of just played a role in the development of that company, and also what else you guys do.
The Centers for Wellbeing, the idea is to merge spirituality with mental health, because what we know is that we Christians, we worship a triune God. So God being in three forms, as in God the Father, the Son, and then the Holy Spirit. And our bodies come together in three forms, you know, our mind, our body, and our soul, right? And so, you know, you got to take care of the health of all of those things, man. All of those working together creates the right synergy to make us whole and healthy. We focus on your spirit, mind, body, and body functioning as one. The notion, you know, I've had some folks ask me, why spirit first? That's normally not in the way that it goes. Well, because we are a faith-based practice, right? I don't use Christianity per se just as the guy as what we tout or anything like that, but persons that are looking to have their faith integrated into their mental well-being, we're the place for you. We're the place that's going to help you work through that.
Yeah, that actually leads to the next question, man. Like, I mean, you kind of talked there about what you guys do. You're focusing on spirit, mind, body, just kind of functioning as one. How did that come about? And talk about your passion as it relates to like mental health and, not to have a check-in, but where are you mental health wise, man? What does that look like, for you?
Man, that's kind of loaded, you know what I'm saying? It's, well, first let me take the first part of what you it came about like when you accept your call into ministry, the lay person thinks that means just to go be a pastor, to preach the gospel, in spirit, full and free, and to get up in the pulpit and do that. And a lot of times in our denominations and the things that we do, we drive persons that come into Christianity that say that they have a calling, that the Lord has called them per se to be in the pulpit and go into pulpit ministry, right? So me as a novice coming into it, it took me forever, Kirk, really, man. When I think about it, I came into ministry and I fought and pushed against it probably, man, since as long as we've known each other. But I entered into ministry, man, in 2007, just because I started out with Reach One, Teach One, trying to mentor at-risk youth, because I was an at-risk youth and I was in all of those spaces and people helped me. But there was something that God was pulling and saying, no, I want more of you. I'm pulling you in this direction. And so the calling really got stronger, and I started to synthesize it through going through seminary, and going through board of examiners and all those things, learning the skills in the school of preaching and of pastoring. While in seminary, getting my MDiv, started exploring chaplaincy, and did my work at the VA. I went around, in circles with that, learning how to be present with people, with our veterans, the guys and the girls who went and gave. Some gave all, all gave some and some gave all, and loving on them and what they were going through and being present with them in the fears that they had. And I started to discover, man, that, wow, there's real ministry work that's here. And so that getting professionally trained as a clinician to be at the bedside spiritually for people, it's more than what you think. The lay person again may think that, like with chaplaincy, it's you can grab up any pastor, come in, say some prayers, and be there when somebody's dying, or it's the most traumatic moments in life. And it's much more than that. That's a small piece of it, And as I started investigating that more, I started discovering that, man, there are people who are dealing with traumas and pains and hurts, and it's affecting their mental ability. If their mind is whole, if their spirit is whole, it's going to help them with the physical things that they're fighting. Cancer, diabetes, hypertension, all of those things, COPD, whatever it could be that's got you laying in this hospital bed, right? Yeah. But it made me want to start to explore that a little bit more. And it's been over some years. I know this is a long answer, but I'm really trying to paint for you how to get here, right? And understand
you're good, man. I mean, not to derail you, but I mean, just so the audience knows, man, Omaràn and I go back, man, 25, almost 30 years. Man,
30 years, man. Yeah.
It's close, a few decades.
7 if we count the number, but we're knocking on 30 years, man.
Yeah. So I've known Omaràn going back to an organization called Inroads. Inroads, Nashville. We used to meet at the downtown campus of TSU. Shout out to Big Blue. And the essence of Inroads was the goal was to develop and place talented minority youth in business and industry, and prepare us for corporate and community leadership. And I can still roll that off without even, what I mean?
That's state of mind, baby. If you want success, I think of yourself as success.
That's the impact that this organization and like these I don't know, this kind of like professional development, personal development, mentoring, all of these services that Inroads provided to people like Omaràn, myself, and other people, man. Shout out to those guys. They do wonderful work. But to Omaràn's point, man, I remember him, leading in prayer, us starting off our sessions at Inroads, and this was back in 95, 96. So, the things that he's speaking to, just to give you your flowers, man, he's always been a leader, a spiritual leader, someone that I've always looked up to. So I can attest to that kind of journey where seeing him develop personally, professionally, and even spiritually, it's been a joy to see. But I know for a fact that I saw God pulling him in a direction that he was willing to follow, and I love him for that. I know his family loves him for that. So that's just my testimony, man. So you guys know. But he not only talks it, he walks it. Oh man, I'm really glad you're here, man. I don't want to get too caught up on that, but I mean, there's a history here. Omaràn is one of my best and dearest friends, man. He's one of my groomsmen. Our families know each other, man. We go back, so I think that's important to state too. And I don't know, man. There's something tied into, I think, the mental health journey that we've kind of see each other going through, and things that the ups and downs, the highs and lows. That each of us experience, and the fact that we've been able to do that together, man, is speaks to, I think, what we're talking about. I don't know if you would define mental health in one word as maybe the people are, well, you can't do it in one word. What would you define it in as one word if you could? How would you?
Man, that's a great question, Kurt. I think, man, if you could define mental health in one word, something that comes to mind for me is stability, right?
Stability.
And
okay.
when you think about stability, it's like it's not perfect. It's not ready made. It's something that you have to work at. It's something that you put time and energy into, and it's like to be sane, to be, as the Bible talks to us about being in our right mind. You hear Big Mama get up and pray and say, I thank the Lord for waking me this morning with an able body and with all my limbs and the ability to speak and being in my right mind. It's something about being in your right mind, and because there's always something, man. And I think we're experiencing that as really as middle-aged adults, carrying on about kids, about being a spouse, a job, being a provider, being a good person in the community. All of those things, man, weigh on you, and it's a lot. It's a flood coming in of information, and having your mind to be sound, stable, where that you can function in dysfunction. You know what I'm saying? It takes, it's a lot, right? So then we take stability and we move it to a thing of well-being. We take it and make it one word, right? That's why we went with Centers for Wellbeing. Centers being plural, because I see the vision back to Inroads, right, man? If you want success, start thinking yourself as success. This thing being able to be plotted around the nation and in a multitude of places. We're talking about caring for a whole gang of people, who needs that support, that well-being. You got folks that are out here dealing with addiction, people that's got caregivers, or people that are dealing with compassion fatigue, that are people that are dealing with divorce, coping skills, marital and premarital, man, it's parenting skills, And when you look at a place like the Centers of Wellbeing, or you look at a mental health counselor, a therapist, you're looking to help you walk through to become the best version of yourself.
Long story short, yeah, man.
Yeah.
You guys are doing good work, man. You guys are doing really good work. I'm proud of you, man. This is good, man. Just from a professional standpoint, man, it does, man. I'm looking at all the ways that you guys, are helping people, and how, like, what you're helping them with, as you stated, anxiety, depression, coping skills, all of that stuff, man. Then you have Christian counseling and, coaching, culturally sensitive, all of these things, man. It's a part of life, man. It's what do they say? It's the journey, not the destination. And helping people through their journey, man, is admirable, man. It's to be commended. So, you know, I'm proud of what you guys are doing. One thing I wanted to ask you about, you know, I guess in looking at all these things that, you know, how you're helping people, you know, are there things that maybe from a mental health standpoint you can avoid, you should not do, or even, you know, let's look at it like this. What are things that you can do that can contribute to good mental health? And then let's talk about the bad things that maybe you avoid. Let's look at it like that.
Okay.
We'll start with the good.
Glass half full. So always, you know, just a little anecdote real quick, man. I've got another one of our friends that was in my wedding along with you, you know, was like I went to go be with him while he was going through some grief, man. Just lost a loved one, a grandparent, man, that, you know, was right there day one, right? And we were talking about some things, man, and the things we were talking about, just regular life that men are dealing with, young Black men who are upwardly mobile and professional, just going through, right? And I was coming off with a lot of half full stuff, you know, a lot of pie in the sky or positivity, and he appreciated it. And at the same time, he was like, well, you know, that's just how you look at everything. You always see things positive. I'm like, I'm glad you see me that way, you know, but I have my moments, right? And you know, I'm just trying to pour out a little bit to help him, you know, through that. So looking at the good in things, right? That you can do for positive reinforcement of mental health, of well-being, of stability. It became a craze here in the past few years, mindfulness. Let me tell you, man, that meditation and that mindfulness, taking time out 2 to 3 minutes, 5-10 minutes, you know, of just self-care, of sitting, being quiet, still, focusing on what's going on or what you're trying to get through to the next step, to the what, you know, it helps to for a person like myself who I was diagnosed, you know, I would say ADHD, undiagnosed. I look at the fact that centering myself to stay focused on one thing, it helps with building that mental toughness and fortitude when everything else could be going awry. Taking a moment to get centered. So if you look at that in a spiritual sense, right, or in a Judeo-Christian sense, that's prayer, reading the Bible, or focusing on a particular scripture and what it's saying. And when the pastors, see, when we were young, you know, the pastors would say things like feasting on, you know, or dwelling in, you know, that's all they were talking about, is about being mindful about what's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have the language, or maybe couldn't comprehend it at the time, but as things evolve a little bit more, we start to understand things like mindfulness, right? So that's one good thing that you can practice, right? Next thing is, see a therapist. Get you a therapist. I'd love for as many to see me as they can, but I can only do so much. But see a therapist. Get you a counselor, a person to sit and talk to. It's not so much about just getting a psychiatrist to prescribe meds, or you know, it could be seeing a licensed clinical social worker. It could be seeing a clinical pastoral therapist, as myself, or it could be talking with a psychologist. You know, and each of these persons in each of those fields, they do a different piece. It could be having a life coach, a support group. You know, it could be not so much support groups just for negative things, but just to give you that good balance where there's a place, it's a safe place. There's no judgment there. What's said in that room is left in that room, because and others can see the fact that what they're dealing with and what you're dealing with, it's all relative, right? And in a place to let that out, exercising, believe it or not, you know, again, tying into the other part. One of the trifecta is with your body is exercising. The energy that's burned in exercising, that allows the mind to free and to not be confounded with all of the worries or whatever's going on. That'll do so much for you. Like I've started exercising. I'm riding my Peloton. I'm not In 2023, I'm planning to be super dedicated to it, right?
That's it.
But it's one day at a time. It's one step at a time. You know what I'm saying? It's just constantly putting the other foot in front of the other. Sometimes what we look at when we're trying to do all of those things or any of those things is when we fall off. We fall into a space of shame. We fall into a place of guilt. And then this was to the other side of what you said. What are the negative things? Well, then we start to self-loathe, or we start to soothe or self-medicate with things that are detractors. You know what I'm saying? Instead of things that are life-giving, right?
Sure.
We get caught up in our mind going back and forth about things instead of maybe just journaling. Get it out of your head. Just drop it down. You know what I'm saying? Getting it all out of your head. Do a word. I would say a word vomit. At the end of the day, just a brain unload. Just dump it all on the page. Leave it there. It's a good way of leaving today, behind and leaving it. Not all of it's going to be answered, but it's not keeping you up at night. You're not tossing and turning. You're able to just lay down and rest, right? And so I think some of the poor things that we can do is like immersing ourselves into substances, whether it's pills, marijuana, drinking, or
alcohol.
any of those. There's. I'm not saying that I'm not wanting to judge or to say that any of it is bad. What I'm saying is that when it's not in moderation, or it's not when it becomes your vice of choice and it's causing you to make decisions based around it, it's definitely not healthy. You know what I'm saying? When it's starting to rule and direct your life, you might want to consider some things different and have some healthy coping mechanisms, going for a walk. It's wild. I was talking with some guys and they were asking, what are your self-help things for yourself? What do you do for your own mental health? And one guy threw out, man, I like to go and hug trees without clothes on. I like to walk in the grass without clothes on. I like to walk in the grass, you know what I'm saying, without shoes on, just getting out, becoming one with nature. Something really about getting close to it. I'm not saying that you should run out and do any of these things. But
man, I mean, not to cut you off there, but I remember growing up, shout out to the old Mount Juliet who paved the way for all of the new people who have moved into Mount Juliet. We don't have to mention any names, but I grew up in that area, and it was out in the sticks or out in the boonies, as people from Nashville would call it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And one of the main things that I did growing up, like just being outside and with nothing out there, it was fields of grass. Man, we had a pretty big yard. I would be outside constantly barefoot, walking through my yard, playing basketball in my driveway. It sounds crazy. I may have never shared this with you.
He ain't painting the picture right for y'all. He had a huge yard. Okay, you could actually get lost in the yard.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. My parents had a wonderful plot of land. I just happened to live there. Thank God. So I mean, it was one of those things where it was not uncommon for me to go outside barefoot, like, and play for hours, go to the mailbox, get the mail barefoot. And thinking about that, literally, as you said, that the coolness of the ground and something about it, it is something about it. Like initially when you were like, he goes out and hugs trees, without clothes on, I'm picturing this naked, crazy dude going out, and I'm like, this is wild. But there is something to be said about the years growing up in that area. And not only barefoot, but just being in shorts and a t-shirt and rolling around in the grass, man. Like as a child, rolling down hills, you know what I'm saying? And getting dizzy and feeling this adrenaline rush and rush of, just being dizzy, but, really being, physically touching and feeling, nature. I think you're spot on there. I hope I didn't derail what you were.
No.
That literally, I was like, wow. That's something that Tanya hates when I walk outside now. Like, we're in Tampa, obviously. She'll be like, your shoes, you're gonna have all these dirty feet or whatever. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, this is how I grew up. I go to the mailbox in barefoot. My brother-in-law is the same way. He's in Pensacola, born in Pensacola. And we talk about that, like being outside barefoot, growing up. And it was just, it was a normality. It was just, it was just what you did. And you
right. Hey, so, hit her with this, man. Hey, this is dirt, right?
Right. That's it. Where'd it come from?
Without that 75% water in it, it's just dust. Okay. And it's good to have that reflection, because now what it makes, honestly, for you all that are watching what we're talking about, man, go take your shoes off, take your socks off, stand in the front yard and wiggle your toes in that. Breathe in deeply. Exhale, slowly. And do that a few times, man, and watch how your mood changes, man. Just getting out, getting some sun, those things, that's really good.
Sure.
We try to talk about self-help and self-care. I like to play golf. I like to fish, and those things, right? But I don't like to play hurried golf. You know that, Kurt. I don't like to don't put me on no timetable. If we out here,
slow down.
We out here. You know what I'm saying?
We're trying to slow down, take it all in.
Right. And the fishing is not for me. That's an activity. It's not about actually really catching fish. Yeah, you want to pull some in, but it's the casting. It's watching the water move. It's the breeze. It's all of it. You know what I'm saying? It's the environment and the ability to reflect.
It can be all encompassing if you let it. From visual stimulation, from an auditory standpoint to what you're hearing, being around water. That's one of the main reasons we moved to the Bay. We love to be around water. Smelling nature, whether it's grass, freshly cut. I love a freshly cut lawn. You definitely struck a chord with me. I'm like, man, and that's one of the reasons why I love being outside. I ride my bike a lot. And the breeze coming through, the wind, feeling all of that, man, is very calming. But from an exercise standpoint, it's also killing two birds, one stone, right? Right. So no, I definitely relate to that.
It's important for us, like as Black men, to definitely delve into mental health. Like I have a therapist. I have my supervisor who's a therapist that supervised me through my this degree that I'm finishing for counseling and for therapy. But you got to have a therapist. It's important to go and talk to somebody, man. There's brothers that are leaving this place, and not just so much with suicide, but that are leaving this place early due to heart conditions, due to strokes, all of these things, because we're not given an outlet, or we're not taking advantage of outlets. And it's not, it may be taboo, but it's not socially unacceptable. It's actually commended when you actually start to deal with it. People will commend you, and they appreciate it more, that knowing that you're taking care of yourself, and that you're putting your mental health first. So talk to somebody. It's totally the right thing to do. It's the best thing. It's freeing, because then last thing I'll say about it is, it's like, you remember, Kurt, when you were coming up in school, and the guy that could, before you could Jones real good, could score on you or burn on folks real good, make people sad. Well, the thing was, like, to take that power away, what I had to learn to do is, like, if I can go ahead and point out all the things that you're going to try to say about me, then it's freeing and liberating. You have nothing. Or if I can laugh extra hard at the things that you're saying, because I'm not taking myself too seriously, now you don't have anything that it's where's the punch?
Nothing can be weaponized, right?
Right. You can't weaponize myself against me. I love me enough to know that I've taken the vulnerability away, and it's strengthening it. There's power in vulnerability, and so therapy helps you to identify that. It helps you to be able to live into who you are, the best of who you are, right? And so I just encourage everybody to definitely check that out. Find somebody to talk to, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that's a really good place to end, man. I was going to say, if you had anything else, I don't want to hold you. I know you're busy, man, and I appreciate your time today, Pastor, man. I appreciate it, man. This guy, man, if you guys knew all of the hats that this guy wears, man, it's unbelievable. But to get this block of time from him is special to me. I hope it's special for you guys. He's clergy, counselor, connector, consultant, convener, champion, man. Omaràn Lee, man, I appreciate it, man. We'll do this again, man, hopefully soon. And we can, maybe talk about some of the businesses, man, from an entrepreneurial standpoint. Omaràn is a serial entrepreneur, as I like to call him. And he's taught me a lot, too, in that space, and would love to pick his brain on that, too. So maybe next time, we can talk about what that looks like, man, the companies and LLCs that you've opened up and, as a family, personally, professionally, man. And man, we'll talk then, man.
Absolutely, man. I look forward to it. Thank you again, man, for giving me the opportunity to be here with you and your audience here at FlyDialogue. I love the work that you all are doing. You're inspiring things that I'm looking to do, man, around cigars and things like that, man. I can't wait to continue the conversation, talk about other stuff, man, and just build. This is beautiful. I'm uber proud of you, Kurt, man. You never cease to amaze me with what you're doing, brother. So love you. Hey, in the season that we're in, man, Habar Gotti, what's the news? It's Kwanzaa, baby. And today the news is Karoomba, baby. You know what I'm saying? So creativity, keep creating. I love you. Happy New Year, man.
That's it. Happy New Year, man. Omaràn Lee, Centers for Wellbeing, man. We'll talk soon, man.